Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that everything you've ever touched, held, seen, is not what it seems. That the solidity of the world is a suggestion, not a fact. That matter, the very thing we rely on to build reality, is more absence than presence, more question than answer. At the heart of every atom, there is mostly space, a silent, gaping void where electrons whisper and dance, not as particles, not as objects, but as probabilities, possibilities, shadows of presence. Physicists once believed the universe was made of little building blocks, concrete, solid, defined. But the deeper they looked, the more those blocks faded. Beneath the molecules, beneath the atoms, beneath the subatomic particles, they found uncertainty. The electron is not a thing until it is observed. It exists in many places at once, until one gaze collapses its infinite possibilities into one form. One point, one choice. The observer materi. Tiusas. And if the observer creates reality, then what is reality? Could it be that matter is not primary but secondary, not the source but the result, not the canvas but the brushstroke? The double-slit experiment shattered our sense of stability. Light, sometimes a wave, sometimes a particle, behaves differently depending on whether it's being watched. Reality reacts to attention, to awareness, to consciousness. What, then, is this world we inhabit? Do we live in a cosmic dream where form arises from formlessness, shaped by perception? In the Eastern traditions, sages whispered for centuries what physics now begins to murmur, that the world is Maya, illusion. A dance of appearance upon the infinite stillness of being. But now, modern physicists begin to map this territory with mathematics and quantum fields. They speak of wave function collapse, of non-locality, of entanglement, where particles communicate instantly across space, as if connected beyond space. And the more we understand, the stranger it becomes. Some suggest we are living inside a simulation, a projection, like shadows on a cosmic cave wall. That space-time is not fundamental, but emergent. That even time, that tireless river, may be woven from something deeper, more mysterious, more conscious. Could the universe be a kind of mind? A vast awareness, dreaming galaxies into form? When we touch a table, it feels solid. But what we're touching is the illusion of solidity, held together by electromagnetic force fields. The particles never really touch. The hardness is a perception, a translation in the nervous system. Touch becomes thought. Thought becomes touch. And yet, here we are, walking through dreams that feel real. If the matter is not truly matter, if reality depends on observation, then perhaps everything is relational, not existing on its own, but in the space between the seer and the seen, between the question and the answer. We are not separate from the world we witness. We are inside it, part of it, shaping it as we go, like waves shaping the ocean and being shaped in return. Every thought, every gaze ripples into the field. And perhaps that field is the true substance of reality. Not particles, not forces, not things, but consciousness itself. Not in the mind, not in the brain, but as the ground, the silent watching ground beneath all appearances. So what is matter? Perhaps it is how consciousness appears to itself. And perhaps we are the dreaming of the universe. What if information, not matter, is the true currency of the cosmos? What if beneath the shimmering veil of forms, stars, planets, hands, eyes, lies a lattice of code, more elegant than silicon, more ancient than time? Quantum physicist John Wheeler once proposed, "It from bit." The idea that everything arises from information, that the universe is not made of stuff, but of yes, no choices, of binary decisions, of awareness discerning between possibilities. Not atoms, but answers. Not particles, but perspective. The fabric of reality may not be fabric at all, but a tapestry woven from the act of knowing. Not passively watching, but participating. Reality, then, is interactive, a fluid dialogue between the known and the knower. In quantum field theory, fields stretch across all of space, even in the absence of particles. These fields are invisible, undetectable, yet everything emerges from their fluctuations. A silent hum behind existence. But who or what listens to that hum? Could it be that matter arises when stillness vibrates? That form is the echo of silence? Some theorists now speak of the holographic universe, where what we perceive as three-dimensional reality is a projection from a two-dimensional boundary, encoded with information. Like a cosmic cinema casting light through invisible reels, forming mountains, music, and memory on the screen of now. And in this model, even black holes, the dark devourers, become libraries, storing the memory of all that enters. The edge of a black hole, its event horizon, encodes the past in a thin film. Nothing is lost, only re-rendered. This invites a question as old as philosophy. If everything is information, then what reads the code? What is the screen upon which this film plays? Could it be awareness itself? Not yours, not mine, but the root awareness from which all selves rise like waves from the same sea. Perhaps we do not have consciousness. Perhaps we are consciousness, dreaming we are bodies, identities, lives, so deeply that we forget. Forget that solidity is a trance, that time is a rhythm, that death is a costume change. Beneath the illusion of separation, of this and that, of here and there is only the indivisible. The indivisible, pretending to be divisible. When you gaze into the stars at night, what you see is not distant matter, but light. Ancient light, arriving across emptiness, collapsing into vision the moment you see it. What if the stars are not just out there, but in here? What if we are not born into the universe, but arise with it? The Big Bang itself may not have created space and time, but emerged with them. A beginning without a before, a singularity where all positions and moments are already contained, like a thought unspoken, waiting to become. And now, here you are, a ripple of that same mystery, feeling, thinking, asking, not separate, not accidental. You are the dreamer and the dreamed, the particle and the wave, the illusion and the awakening. We often imagine ourselves as observers, standing apart, watching the world unfold. But what if the observer is never separate? In quantum experiments, the observer doesn't just reveal reality. The observer participates in its creation, not as a passive witness, but as a sculptor, shaping the wave function into the sculpture of experience. The universe does not simply happen in front of us. It happens through us. Each perception is an act of decoding, of collapsing infinite options into this one moment, this breath, this sound, and yet, behind the roles we play, the names we wear, the memories we collect, there is something untouched, something that does not change. Even as the body ages, the stories shift, the dreams unravel. This presence, before the thought I am arises, is not a product of the brain. It is not made. It is not born. It does not belong to time. It is the screen behind the movie, the silence behind the sound, the field behind the form. And this presence does not look at reality. It is reality, appearing as multiplicity. Who were you before you had a name? Before you believed in your story? Before identity crystallized into shape? You are not merely a person among others, but the open space in which all persons arise. Not the character, but the light of the projector. What you truly are has no boundary. It is not limited to a skull or a heartbeat or a biography. It is consciousness aware of itself, veiled in illusion for the joy of remembering. The mystics knew it, the physicists glimpse it, the sages became it. And you are standing at the edge of this understanding. Reality is not fixed. It is fluid, responsive, intimate. It listens to your attention. It bends with your intention. It reflects the pattern of your beliefs like a mirror made of stars. The world you walk through is not separate from the world you hold within. As you see, so it becomes. This is not metaphor. This is the frontier of science, of perception, of awakening. So perhaps matter is not an illusion in the sense of being false, but in the sense of being incomplete, unfinished, dependent on your gaze. And perhaps the universe is not outside you, but inside out. A dream, yes, but not a random dream. A lucid one, and you are waking up.